LDBC. This is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, guys. Shout out to Rawls. Rawls asked the coach to talk about this, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. And that's just the way that is. All right, Tim Hague is, he was a UFC guy, and I've actually watched a few of his fights. Tim, he was a very entertaining fighter. He's one of those guys that he fought. He fought hard. And wasn't very defensive. He would, take a shot to give a shot, that kind of mentality. And he was a blood and guts type fighter. He got into a boxing match of all things, which, you see some MMA fighters will cross over and a lot of MMA fighters don't cross over into boxing. Some of them will. Some of them have boxing backgrounds, but Tim Hague, he was a consummate warrior. He was one of those guys that, wanted to fight, till somebody was out, till somebody was bleeding, leaking. That was his mentality. Well, in this fight, I'm going to tell you who I blame. But, I have to tell you, see, people get mad at defensive fighters. They get mad. But, defensive fighters, pretty much, they're pretty much showing you how to save your life and how to prolong your career. Because, see, you got some guys, they get hit in the head and hit in the head and hit in the head. And you wonder, how can they take that much punishment? Some guys, they got the skull thickness, they got the liquid density, around their brains. And they can take those shots and they can go on to live to be like 100 or 90 years old. But some guys, they don't have that fluid around the brain. They don't have as much, or they don't have the density to deal with some of those shots. And eventually, it catches up to you, man. A lot of fighters, man, that's just taking so much punishment, man. You can tell by their speech is slurred. They can't even keep a coherent sentence anymore. And I have to agree with one thing that Floyd Mayweather say. It's just not cool to take punishment. It's not. People give fighters like, Valentina Shevchenko. They give fighters like, Caitlin Guerrero. They give fighters like Vivian Pereira. I'm sorry, not Caitlin, but Vivian Pereira, Danielle Taylor. They give those fighters a hard time because they're very defensive. But it's just not cool to be in there and just beat on it. That's not cool. And Tim Hague was beat on, but first of all, I blame the referee. And I'm going to tell you why I blame this ref, okay? This guy got knocked down multiple times. I ain't talking about one time, two times. This dude got knocked down multiple times, okay? Multiple times. This dude stopped defending himself at many points in this fight. He stopped defending himself. And it's like, okay, the guy not defending himself, you stop the fight. And even the guy who was fighting, I think it was Brerewood, the guy he was fighting was kind of looking toward the ref like, okay, well, maybe he going to stop the fight. Because he was just beating on him, man. And the ref just waited for Tim Hague to just, go to his knees. See, to me, me watching the sport and knowing as much about the sport of boxing as I do know, when you're getting beat on like that and you're not defending yourself, you just got your hands over your head, it's pretty much time to stop the fight. Because there's an injury, okay? There's an injury that could have occurred. And, what is Brerewood supposed to do? Like, what is he literally supposed to do? Because he knew that this guy's seriously hurt. This guy knew that this guy was hurt. He knew he was hurt. But it's like, what is he supposed to do? Because if he, just fall back and not do anything to him, well, he could get hurt. And he could be the one getting knocked out. So it really is a lose-lose situation. And I want to talk about the guy, the fighter, Brerewood. This is gonna be a huge psychological, man. This gonna affect this guy for a long time. He's not gonna forget this. But I blame the referee first. I blame the referee, man, for continuing to let this guy go on like this, man. The dude was not defending himself. You can clearly see he wasn't trying to throw no punches back. It was over. He was done. And it should have been, this fight should have been stopped after that second knockdown. Easily. But it wasn't. Why? Why? I blame Tim Hague's corner. When you see somebody taking a beating like this, like literally taking a beating, and y'all don't stop the fight, see, a lot of times trainers, they're not in there taking that punishment, so they don't know. They can't gauge a guy's level, of pain. And, a warrior type fighter, they're not going to tell you that they're in trouble. They're not. They're not going to tell you, okay? I promise you they're not. They'll never tell you. They'll never tell you that they hurt. They'll never tell you there's something wrong with them. They're going to go in there and they're going to fight the good fight. That's what they're going to do. It's that trainer, it's that corner's job to protect the fighter when he won't protect himself. That's the job of a corner, to throw in the towel. Like Virgil Hunter said, yeah, and because Kathy Duva asked Virgil Hunter, is this the towel that you're going to use to throw in after Kovalev beats on Ward? And Virgil Hunter said, absolutely. If my fighter's in trouble and if I think, my fighter's health is being, it's going to be compromised, he said, I absolutely will throw in the towel. Yes, ma'am, I will. See, imagine if you had a Virgil Hunter in that corner or a Nazim Richardson, even a Freddie Roach. They probably would have thrown in the towel. And they probably would have told Tim, go fight another day. But then, after I blamed the corner, I blamed the commission. I blamed it was a Canadian commission. I blamed them too. This guy been knocked out a lot of times, man. This guy been concussed and knocked out, man. I'm talking about he's been brutally knocked out several times. And you mean to say that, nobody gave this guy a brain scan, like really a legitimate brain scan. Not a brain scan that they give you so you can take the fight. But a brain scan, because see, when you've been concussed, there are brain markers. When you do an MRI or scan, there are brain markers. And a doctor can tell you if you've been concussed before. They can tell you that. And clearly, man, come on. There's no way that this guy being knocked out previously, man, all those times, y'all couldn't tell something was wrong with his brain. See, man, I blame the commission for allowing this fight to happen. You let a guy that's been knocked out so many times, I'm talking about like brutally knocked out. Y'all let this guy get in the ring. Like, I don't get it. It should have been denied. He should have been denied. And see, it should have been a full comprehensive medical, examination. Not by doctors that, your trainer chooses or your promoter. No. I'm talking about a professional in the area, man. Because see, this kind of stuff right here, Tim Hague's death, it could have been prevented in this situation. It could have. It could have. Because see, a real doctor, they would have told him, Tim, you need to stop. And maybe there are doctors that did tell Tim that, he need to stop fighting. Maybe. Because see, I don't know that for a fact, but maybe. And maybe Tim Hague was the guy that didn't take that kind of advice. Fine. But see, when you have a doctor, it's the doctor's responsibility. It's their responsibility, man. Okay? To let these commissions know that, look, this guy can't fight. To let these trainers know, look, this guy can't fight. He's in no condition. If he fights, he's going to get himself killed. A lot of people to blame. I mean, Tim Hague, yeah, he's a grown man. He should have known better. He's a grown man. He should have known better. He should have known better not to get in after all those. But see, he's a warrior. He's a fighter. And fighters, they never do what's good for their health. I don't care. No fighter, many fighters, they don't do what's good for their health. They just don't. And I feel bad, man, because this really could have been avoided. But I blame the ref first. I blame his corner. I blame the commission. I blame those three, man. They're instrumental. You can say, well, what about Tim? Yeah, but Tim's a fighter. And no fighter wants to look at their corner and say, I quit. I don't care what you say. No fighter wants to look to his corner and tell his corner, hey, I quit. Don't no fighter ever want to do that. That's just the unwritten rule. That's the unwritten rule in boxing, any fight. You don't want to see your corner. You don't want to let your corner down. That's just how it is. But, man, I don't know, man. This is sad. The guy was brain dead, and man, it's real sad, man. My condolences to the family of Tim Hague. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you guys waiting on? Subscribe.